Hi everyone, it's Marieta, founder of ImmigrationBiz, attorney as well as business coach. And in this video, I do want to focus on the recent news regarding EB5 program, which is called EB5 Reform and Integrity Act 2022, and it is impacting EB5 investors. So these are recent news that you probably were waiting for if you are someone who wants to start business in the US as a foreigner, you want to invest, you want to get your green card through investment. So I'm going to give you the recent news as well. At the end, I do want to talk about a little bit of other options that you might have if you don't qualify for EB5 green card or EB5 visa or EB5 program. Okay, so let's make it happen. Number one, in the EB5 category, we have two different subcategories. Number one, it is direct investment, and number two, regional center, it's also called indirect investment. So what is the main difference? The main difference is that with the direct investment, you are essentially starting your own business, your own commercial enterprise, right? And you have full control. This means that you are establishing business where you need to hire 10 full-time people that will work for you. And in this particular subcategory, these are the current news. So if you are interested in direct investment, you want to start your business, you need to invest at least $800,000 or $1,050,000, which is that increase from $500,000. Before, the $500,000 was only available for targeted employment areas or the rural areas. Now, instead of 500,000, there is increase to 800,000. So we are starting at the minimum of $800,000 of the investment when it comes to direct investment into EB5 program. So that being said, if you want to invest 800,000, we're talking targeted employment areas. So this new reform is actually defining targeted employment area that is going to be established by Homeland Security, actually, and the rural areas, which is area with population under 20,000. So what do you need to know? Either you are investing $1,050,000 or 800,000. If you are investing 800,000, you need to obviously invest into, as you can see here, targeted employment area and infrastructure projects, and you need to create full-time employment for at least 10 qualifying employees. Now, the legislation is also stipulating that each of these EB5 visas will be available each fiscal year in the following fashion. 20% is reserved for qualified immigrants who invest in rural area. So this essentially means population under 20,000. This is probably small areas outside of the cities. They really want to support growth of these areas. Next, 10% will be reserved for qualified immigrants who invest in high unemployment areas, right? These are called the targeted employment areas. And 2% is reserved for qualified immigrants who invest in infrastructure projects. So it's divided into these three categories. Now again, this is concerning those who are investing $800,000. If you choose to invest $1 million, you're good to go invest anywhere as long as you create 10 full-time jobs. All right? Now, this bill is also talking about the Homeland Security that will actually design the high unemployment areas for the targeted employment area purposes, and this designation will remain in effect for 2-year period. So every 2 years they will be designing new areas as everything is shifting quickly, and obviously the market is evolving. Now, so this is the direct investment, right? Number two, we do have indirect investment. So this is called regional center program. So they are in this bill reauthorizing the new regional center program again, right? And what do you need to know about the EB5 regional center program? So it is clear for reauthorization. So if you're someone who wants to invest indirectly, That means that you actually invest your funds into regional center project and you are not going to be involved directly. You will not have control over this project. In other words, it's almost like you put your money in the fund, right? So, what do you need to know? So the main things is that the Homeland Security will prioritize processing and adjudication of petitions for rural areas, which is interesting again. These are the areas with population under 20,000. So if your project is going to be in rural area, you will have priority. Also, regional centers are required to notify the Secretary of significant proposed changes, especially when it comes to organizational structure, ownership, administration, no later than 120 days before implementation. Also, these regional centers must preserve any transactions, book, ledgers, records, and other documentation during the 5-year period and make these records available to Department of Homeland Security for audits. Department of Homeland Security is tasked with auditing each regional center at least once every 5 years. So at least this is going to give you some sort of security, right, if you are an investor in a regional center project. Also, each regional center must submit annual statement to Homeland Security, and failure to submit annual statement will result in sanction. Now, in addition, the legislation states that only U.S. national or lawful permanent resident is allowed to be involved with the regional center. So this essentially means that if you want to start maybe a regional center project, maybe you are within the U.S., you need to be either a U.S. national, citizen, or permanent resident in order to do that. And lastly, the legislation is also talking about the EB5 Integrity Fund. So if you want to actually create a fund with your project, it's a special fund that collects the annual fee every October 1st, and the petition fee is $1,000. So again, this is just a summary of the bill that was introduced. It was passed by Congress already. Now it's waiting for a signature from President, and it's good to go. So these are good news for those who absolutely want to invest in EB5 program. Now, if you don't want to invest in EB5 program, maybe you don't like the structure, you don't want to do the indirect investment because you don't want to invest into regional center. Maybe you want to do the direct investment. However, instead of $1 million, you would rather distribute the funds in a different fashion. I personally focus on helping entrepreneurs obtaining first E2 visa. Then we scale the business, and then we apply for EB2 national interest waiver. This is path I've done myself personally. So I'm very, very familiar with this path myself. If you are interested, I highly recommend you book a call with me. The link to book a call is going to be below. And essentially this means that we can get started and we can create a structure that is going to obviously maybe take 2-3 years, but certainly you will be able to save at least $500,000 within this certain structure that we will create. However, you need to be qualified entrepreneur. So in order to do that, book a call, link is below. You also will be able to find actually useful training below this video. In that training, I dive deeper into how you can obtain first your E2 investor visa status and so on. So everything is below in description. Otherwise, thank you so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for upcoming videos. Have a great day. Take care. Bye.